Okay, so get started here. Just threw on my core support and just left it loose for right now. Obviously, you want to get the fenders and everything tied in. I got a new upper cowl grill. This is OER. Interestingly enough, it had 3 of the 4 holes across the front, but it was missing the far hole in the upper cowl, so I had to drill that. No big deal. But good looking panel, even comes with the rubber seal, so I threw that on. Do yourself a favor, guys. If you're doing one of these, get one of these bolt kits. This thing is worth its weight in gold. Yeah, AMK. You know, I just looked up upper cowl vent grill. Boom, there's the package. 4 little screws. You know exactly what screw it's supposed to be, where it's supposed to go. That all worked out good. So these are OER panels as well. They look pretty good. I ended up getting these. I was going to go with AMD, but I ended up getting these because I kind of hit it on a promotion for free shipping, which made a big difference. And OER is the only one that makes the Firebird specific inner fender well. So I figured I'd give these a go. We'll see how it looks. Let me be your guinea pig, I guess. So we'll see what happens. You know, hear all kinds of horror story about these inner panels. I have the originals still if I need them, but I'd rather use these. We'll see. The originals are going to require a lot of work. But everything's back together, fit up good, no issues. Got underneath there, everything lined up nice, plenty of clearance on the exhaust. Might have to redo my exhaust exits just a little bit now that the body's on there, but we'll see. Not worried about that right now. I'm gonna just concentrate on getting this front clip on. So I'm gonna bait up the inner fender to the outer fender, or inner skirt, and I'm kind of leaning towards that being the best way to put it on. Then I've got to get in here and attach my support brackets, and we'll see what happens. I'll bring you back when I got something to show you. But I did figure the first thing I should do is put this cowl on. I haven't really set the exact position for it yet. I just kind of wanted to get it somewhere near right. And I'll probably stick something under the back of it here, a couple of paint sticks or something, just to simulate the windshield height. But we'll get to that. Okay, let's talk fenders. Okay, so these are OER fenders, all right, Firebird, and the OER Firebird specific inner fenders, or fender skirts, they call them also. So far, not bad at all. I put one on just so I knew what I was talking about. It fits pretty damn nice. The few things, there is one little bit of material under here that you got to grind off because it won't allow the windshield to go down in, obviously, which is right here. So this is going to be cleaned up a little bit, no biggie. I'll do that when I pull this fender back off. I put the yellow tape on to mark it, but you can see what happened when I sucked down the top. It kind of headed for the buckwheat right here because this is too high. And that's what's holding it up, is way up there. So I'll have to work that back in. But either way, the profile is okay. The bottom of my door is in a little bit, but I think once I pull that out, I will have to rework this profile a little bit to get it to match the door profile, but not a lot. The gap at the top is really good, a little fat in the middle, and really good at the bottom. So all workable, very easily worked. Body lines line up well, not bad. Now everybody cries about these inner skirts, saying that they don't fit right, they hold the front of your fender out. These fit perfect. I can't imagine it being any better than that. My fender, the bottom of my fender is in perfect alignment with the rocker panel. Everything just lines up perfectly true. I've still got to adjust this here. The lower fender extension isn't quite right. That needs to be played with, but I just threw it on there to get it in place. And again, these are Firebird specific, so they're trimmed off right here so the bumper bracket can come up through and pick up your bumper. So I'm going to go ahead and start working up the other one now. Throw that on, see how it looks, get it ready to go. Couple of things on the bolt kit. The bolt kit, yeah, it gives you a bunch of stuff, right? But doesn't really tell you where it goes. So, you know, I had to go through and through process of elimination try to figure out some of this stuff. And it wasn't completely obvious to me, but it is now. So, you know, you got your clips. These hold your lower extensions on, and the wheel tubs to the fenders themselves. I'll show you where those go. That bracket sits in the back. You want to keep that loose on the car until you get everything in, and then you can tighten that up last. And there was a couple of separate bolts for that. And then the radiator support here in the front where the two bolts go up through here. Those are readily available, you know, they're here. So I will keep looking at this, and these three here are to hold the main fenders, the shims that go with those. So two on the bottom, one pointy, one not. Then the two on the top that go here and here. But I will take you through this as I throw this next one together so you'll understand where each fastener is supposed to go. And those are all lower valance fasteners there. So let me, I'll start working this other fender up. I'll do a couple of the mods that I know need to be done to start with, just to grind that. And then should be ready to put the inner fender on it, and I'll bring you back and show you what that's all about. Again, these are OER. Like I said, if this side goes together as well as the other side, I can't complain at all. I really can't. There are some, you know, in the Firebird manuals, there are some illustrations on how this goes together, which is great, except for it doesn't really show you what fasteners go where. So great. I do hammer and dolly this out just to flatten it a little bit. The die, when it's done with it, leaves a little bit to be desired. So I'll flatten that with a hammer and dolly, and before I start putting anything else on it. But overall, I'm quite pleased with these fenders. This is really starting to look like something. So it's interesting. I didn't have fenders on this car when I got it, so I never took this apart. So figuring out where everything goes back together has been a bit of a puzzle, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, so this is mounted up, inner fender, outer fender. The nuts are in the inner fender for these guys. You have to put 4 of these clip nuts on the lower fender extension here. And there's relief in the bottom of the fender for them so they don't hold a gap. Again, I don't have those adjusted perfectly, but they're just in there. I did clean up this edge so that it's not being held, it won't hold up on the other side. And I'm hoping that will help alleviate some of the roll I was getting on this side. And 2 clips here, and the screw from the back with the no washer, wrong washer. Got to do that again. Okay, so these 2 bolts right here require the big round washer. So let me correct that. Bam, that's better. Okay, so these big cup washers go up in there. One thing I did find interesting, I just learned this, freaked me out for a minute, thought I did something wrong on the other side. But this bracket here goes on the outside on this side, and on the other side it's on the inside. And you can tell because these nuts are all dimpled and stuff to accept it that way. I wish it was like that on both sides, because a lot easier to get to those 2 bolts to tighten everything up when you're done. But, you know, we'll adapt, overcome, all that jazz. So, all right, I'm going to throw this one up and see how it looks and start getting it fit up and cover this side and see what we get. And of course, there is a cage nut that goes down here that comes with the bolt kit as well. A couple of cage nuts here for the inner fender, and that should all go together nice. But I'll tell you what, I'm pretty happy with that. That looks good. A little, you know, a little dusty, but that's a good fit. And I have the skirts to go down around these. I've got to figure out how to mimic the factory staples. They have these wire-like staples that go through here. So I've got to figure that out at some point, but that won't be until after paint. So, on to the other side. I'll get that one mounted up, but everything over here looks good. And like I said, I've just got that back tail section held up a little bit. Next time I take this fender off, I'll clean that up. Again, that's what the yellow tape signifies, so I don't forget things, because I do tend to forget things. So, all right, let's give this a go. But so far, so good. I think these fenders are, hopefully I'm not jinxing myself, but this one, last one went on as good as can be expected. So yeah, here we go. Okay, updates. This fender went on a little meaner than the other one, but still overall it went on fine. It did point out that my door is very low over here. Got to come up about 3/8 of an inch. On that I did compare against the post on the other side. It did say the same thing, which will mess with my gap back here a little bit, but I could stand to lose some and come forward a bit anyway. Profile is close, but once I won't know until I get it to the right height. So I got to adjust that door, get that all tweaked in. Everything else went pretty decent on it. Got the front end. The valance, on the other hand, I got more time in that valance than anything else on this rig. Yeah, that side over there, I almost had to re-drill every hole. I don't know what is going on with that, and I had to shrink it to get it to match the curve a little better, but I think I got it. I'm just gonna have to do some patch welding on some of those bolt holes, but I can get to that. So anyway, all right, for you purists, now's the time to tune out. Check this out. Yep, I did it. The 69 hood. That is the most badassedness there is in this car. I like this hood. I think it's gonna go good with the whole pro touring thing. It fits right on a 67, 68. Just, you know what? I don't care. In the immortal words of Roger and Fireman, Mr. Fireman, you build your car, I'll build mine. But I think this is gonna be cool looking. So I like this better than the plain hood or the 400 hood. This is really cool. I like it. So anyway, it's coming. I've got a lot of adjustments to do now. I do seem to have a tight spot right here that I'm going to have to work out somehow. It gets better at the nose and at the back. It's a little tight on the side. So nothing's really adjusted yet. So I got a little bit more work to do there. Just getting it all tuned in and lined up properly. But I think that's going to be a good look right there. So anyway, we'll see. Probably going to wrap it up for here for this weekend. Next weekend, it'll be just more body, getting panels aligned closer. Like this bottom of this door needs to come out. Then I need to match profiles, fix the gaps. Backside looks pretty darn good. So I don't know, gotta kind of work through that. This door may actually have to slide forward a hair. But now that I got the nose on it, I can do all that. You know, basically the doors are on there is my very best guess when I put them on. And this one came out very close, so not too bad. But yeah, that's where it's at. It's looking good. I don't see any gotchas at this point. I did have one problem I didn't notice when I got this hood, but this corner was beat in, so I got to fix that. I did kind of work it back out a little bit, so it was pushed way back into here. So I'll get it close and rework that. The back of the hood's being held up right now. I think it's being held up on the gasket. So I'll have to figure that out. But overall, pretty happy with it. It's kind of looking like a car all of a sudden. It's going to be a sweet ride. Anyway, yeah, 69 Trans Am hood on a 67 Pro Touring. Don't care. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, I'm going to continue on up here a little bit more. I do want to fit on. I got an old bumper. I'm going to fit onto it just to make sure that everything lines up well with the bumper. It should not be an issue. But I think I'm just going to go through and tighten up a few more things on this fender, and then I'm going to probably just call it a day. It's Easter Sunday, and we're having dinner at the neighbors. So yeah, should be fun. Got the fiberglass scoops here. They need a little work. They're not perfect, but it's a good starting point, so I can make that happen. Anyway, that is what it is going to be. All right, you guys have a good week. Later.